All right, it says we are live on the Books of the Face. There's about a 15 or 20-second delay. I'm going to go double check it. With all that being said, it's the CrimeCast, and it's hosted by me, Clint Powell. I'm a nobody. But what I do is I bring people who are somebodies on this thing, and we talk about stuff. My co-host, David Roddy. How you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
We're back. We're back. Yep, everything looks good so far. Oh, we got viewers. Okay, cool. It's already popped in. And they'll tell me if it doesn't sound good. Trust me. They'll let you know real quick. We got some special guests. Now, they've been in before. I think they've been in at least once or twice on CrimeCast. And I know you came in for the 24-hour podcast.
That's right.
Last year.
Yep.
From the DA's office,
Mhm.
Coty Wamp.
Mhm.
And it's Natasha.
That's right.
I got it.
But just call me Tasha. That's fine.
Tasha.
That's fine.
Okay, hey, Tasha. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. All right, so do me a quick favor, and I was going to ask this starting off. You had been on it before, and I know I'd been kind of doing more of a consistent thing with you, but you were busy. And finally, you said, hey, I think I'm ready. What changed to maybe have a more consistent thing here with the podcast?
Well, first of all, I believe in elected officials being open and transparent. Some people might think that district attorneys need to be less talkative, less open. Maybe we have to be transparent. But I'm at a place in my office, Clint, where everything is a well-oiled machine. And we can talk more about that, but I'm in a good place, and I always want the community to be able to hear from me. Of course, there's things I cannot talk about. Open cases, pending investigations would not be covered by me, but there's lots of things that can be. And I'm an elected official just like other people are. I have constituents that expect to hear from me, and so I think it's just a good time as my office almost can function by itself. I can take an hour here at the noon hour to come over here and be with you.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. And there may be times we talk about some ongoing stuff as much as you can. There may be times we talk about some some old cases. I was going to ask you this real quick, though, and let's just go ahead and jump into a fun one.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it's fun.
Okay.
The Murdoch thing that just happened.
Yeah.
Is it South Carolina?
South Carolina, yeah.
Okay, he was convicted of murder. We're not going to retry it here because I don't know enough but to be dangerous. But it got sent back for a new trial. How frustrating would that be? And I think it was because of an error by a clerk.
Big trial. Good case. That's a good thing about them having to try it again. It's a good case. It's a solid case. But yeah, when there's an error made by someone in the courthouse, in the court clerk's office, that's really frustrating because lawyers mess up a lot. And we have lots of rules and standards that we have to operate under. But when it's not us that messes up and it's somebody, that works for the court or works for the clerk's office or works for the judge, which happens, very frustrating because the state has to start all over, do it all again, call these witnesses. Some of them you might have lost at this
That's
point.
what I was going to ask.
Some of them might not want to come back.
Do you think could this really change the outcome? I mean, I did watch it a little bit. Could it change the outcome?
No, this one, the witnesses are solid enough where I think you can subpoena them and expect that they will come back. It's in cases where you've got some witnesses that are transient, maybe some witnesses that might be from the criminal milieu where you have to start worrying. They've testified once, they are not coming back. And that's when things get really hairy. But yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate because the state of South Carolina put a lot of work into that case, and now you just got to do it all over again.
Well, I know you two have worked together for a long time, and if y'all listen to the 24-hour one, we had that story. But how long have you two been working together?
We met in 2017.
The DA's office. That's the interesting thing about Tasha and I is, so we met in the DA's office in Bradley County. We are best friends, and I have advice to people on this. I always knew if I got elected, she'd be my administrative assistant. She's over all support staff in the office, but she's also my best friend, and everybody knows that. And people said, don't work with your friends. There might be a time and a place where that's true, but I disagree completely. I couldn't really do my job without her because she knows what's going on. I can vent to her. We always are on the same team. It's someone for me to rely on. She's loyal. And it's just been a really great relationship. But pretty much everything that goes on in my office, she knows about. Everything that she needs me to know about, we talk about every day. And it's a good relationship. But she's been in criminal justice close to as long as I have.
Yeah, since 2015.
Yeah.
Is that what you went to school for?
Yeah.
And how long had you been in with the DA? Did you come with her?
I did.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
She was your first person you brought?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got into the office. We fixed the office together.
Why did you get into this field?
Oh, that's a long story.
Well, we got a little bit of time. I mean,
No, not that much time.
not that
my
much
bad.
time.
That's okay.
I
Is
just
that
let
another
me put it to you like
Yeah.
this. I knew somebody that was going through court, and I went with them, and I did not know what they were talking about. I thought that when you went to court that you walked in and the jury said you're either innocent or guilty and you go to jail or you go home.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, okay, I got another court date. And it's like, well, what'd you do now? You know, I didn't know. And then I just kept talking and talking about it. And I was told, you're too interested. You need to go to school. I just felt like I was in a foreign land, I guess.
The language used and the
Yes.
procedure.
And I
What
don't
you think?
like
You
that.
didn't know what DA meant.
I didn't even know there was a DA. I didn't even know that was a real thing. They said, we're going to go to the DA's office and pick up something. I said, what is that? I had no clue.
Wow.
But then I got in there and you feel like a dummy because you don't know what's going on and you feel real stupid because you don't know that this is a big, huge process.
When you get,
Like-
it's easy to take it for granted watching it from the outside until
Yes.
you or somebody's going through it. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is really important. I should
Mhm.
probably have a better understanding of what's going on.
Yeah.
Coty said it a minute ago, the complexities of the rules, you don't even understand it until you're in the middle of it. I mean, even as a new officer, I could still remember sitting on the stand and the district attorney would be like, okay, tell us what happened. And I would start to talk, and I can't remember enough specifics to give you those, but I would say something, and then one of the attorneys would go, objection. And the judge would go, sustained. And I'm like,
Do I keep
I don't
going?
know what I just
say?
said, but
Yeah.
I can't say it again. I don't know how to say it twice.
That's exactly right.
And then it would happen again. And I can still remember
Mhm.
some of I remember one case very in particular, very, very frustrated. And the judge sitting on the bench could see basically my face turning red, heat coming off of me because I was getting more and more mad as I sat there. And he was like, how about we recess for a minute? And I never forgot. Judge took me in the back, sat me down in his chambers, and he goes, let's talk for a minute. And he was like, here's this, here's this, here's this. And he took the time. And it was very, very meaningful in my career to explain some things sitting there. And he was like, how about we go back out?
Yeah.
And I went back out, sat down, and I was able to talk within the lanes of what it was. But I was a police officer for a year or two at that point.
Yeah, you should have been more prepared. But it is, if one officer or one witness says one wrong thing, it can be a mistrial.
Yep.
And you don't even know you're saying something wrong. It's the system's so complicated. So one of the more frustrating things about my job is that obviously we all understand the complexities, but the public is never going to. They're never going to understand that even though this person's committed a murder before, it can't be brought up in their new murder trial. Which, those ideas are just mind-boggling to people. What do you mean? They've murdered before. Why can't it be brought up? And,
Well, the whole country's looking at Murdoch right now wondering, well, is it a good case? I mean, apparently something was
you
wrong.
got a new trial, that's right. And then
So
you've
it's
got
a huge
social
thing.
media trolls, and
But
that
those
makes
things-
it more complicated.
and-
That's correct.
Never.
But to me, we'll talk about that in a minute too. But those things, as much as I can be frustrated from, you guys are in the middle of it. I know how frustrated you get, but think how frustrating it is for people who know just enough to feel like it's not fair.
Yeah.
We go, that's not fair. And then all of a sudden something happens, but that's why procedures matter. That's why having somebody in there that knows how to navigate them matters, because if I was in there, I want to make sure everything goes exactly like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Because if I haven't done something, I want to make sure that somebody's checking the boxes for me.
Sure. Yeah.
And so,
all sides are important. Nothing's more important than the United States Constitution. So
right.
all of our goals are to protect the rights of criminal defendants, even mine. And that makes everything tricky too, because I have to worry about their constitutional rights. So does their attorney. If I don't protect their constitutional rights, we got new issues. And so, yeah, it's a very complicated system. I make people mad every day. I'm either prosecuting them or I have to give them bad news about prosecution. And so it is, I take it on the chin a lot, but that's what I signed up for.
You like it?
Love it. It's what I'm called to do. I think I'm good at it. I think my office is good at it, and I'm very proud of where we're at. So yeah.
I've asked you, I think before, but again, we always have new people. Do you ever, before you give opening, closing statements, do you practice?
Sure. Yeah. You
Okay.
got it. Yeah.
I think that's-
If you
yeah.
believe, and I have to, nail this down in the heads of assistant district attorneys. Yeah, you got to be more prepared than you need to be. But you also have to feel really strongly about the case. You're not going to convince a jury if you're not convinced yourself. And so you need to be very passionate about what we're doing. You need to prepare. You need to know the case backwards and forwards. So if you do get off your notes or your points in your head, it doesn't matter because this is your case.
Do you bounce off her a little bit on stuff? Do you talk stuff through with her?
I don't go to trial without her sitting behind me. And sometimes I get frustrated, not with her, but in general, and probably bark orders like, go do this. And she deals with me well. That's about working with your best friend.
Trial time is a prep time. It's a different ball game. You don't talk unless you're talked to, really, because they're so stressed and focused.
Yeah.
But I don't let that stuff bother me because that's not who she is or how she feels,
It's what's needed in the moment, right?
Yeah.
It's literally.
Yeah, she feels right then.
Right then.
That's right.
I just convinced myself she's a nice person. And it's
I
fine.
remember.
I
that
love
with
her.
friends.
I love her.
Remember that time she got you that cool gift? That was so. But no, to be honest with you, it is different between the locker room and practice time and game time. I mean, there's a time to
Yeah.
goof off. I can snap somebody with a towel, great. But we're in the middle of a game. It's time to focus on
That's
the
right.
win.
That's
That's
a good
right.
way to describe
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
we don't mess around. And trials are unbelievably stressful. And for every prosecutor on every case, really, it doesn't matter what it is, they're unbelievably stressful. It's a job is stressful.
Well, I'm going to move into in a minute. I want to ask you how you handle watching, because I know how he does watching
Uh-huh.
TV with police stuff. But I also want to ask you the courtroom stuff. I saw a movie the other day. As a matter of fact, me and Jeff Stiles were talking about 10 movies. Shut up, David. You know what?
Oh no,
David's out.
What is it?
Nothing. He just
To
every time
Kill
I
a
talk about
Mockingbird?
watching
Did you
stuff.
just discover To Kill a
No,
Mockingbird?
I've watched it a bunch. You know, hold on a second.
So many
No.
stories in this studio and other studios have started with.
Going through the thing.
So I was watching this movie the
Movie.
other day, and I wanted to. It's wrong.
That it's
Just start with it's probably wrong.
It's 90.
Well,
Mhm.
no, one of my favorite movies about courtroom. It's old. It's called 12 Angry Men. I love 12 Angry Men. It's a great movie.
It is a
I
great
think it's fan. So that was the courtroom. But what I love about some of these movies, and I can't remember when I was watching, is about jury selection. So is that are you involved? I don't know how all this works. Is that a big deal? Is that as big a deal as they make it out on the TVs?
It depends on what kind of trial, but
Okay.
big trials, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't voir dire your jury properly, you might not have any chance to convict. There are some people in this county and New Jersey, wherever it is, that just will not convict anyone. And you've got to sort of figure out who those people are, how they feel about different, criminal ideas like premeditation. What do you think about drugs? Drug cases. Some people think, like in Oregon, just legalize everything. You got to get those people off your jury, or they're not going to convict somebody for selling heroin.
Yeah.
So in big cases, it's a really big deal. If we're trying to DUI, like if a juror doesn't agree with us, then okay.
Yeah.
It's a great system, but no, jury selection often can be a lengthy process.
It's fun.
That's what I was getting ready. I was going to ask. It's fun. What makes
She's
it
very
fun?
good at reading people.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah. I like to go in there and just watch their face. You can tell a lot
Yeah.
by facial expressions on how
So-
people feel.
Is that how that works too? Like if you're busy, because tunnel vision can be a thing. It's a real thing. I don't care how good you are. We talked about it. You get locked in.
Mhm.
Is it good to have somebody like her and other people on your team? They're watching things that you're not watching, and they're like, "Hey, that juror, when you said that, they rolled their eyes."
Yep. That's what we
And
do.
are you making notes?
Yep.
Giving it to me. Yeah. Juror 18 cannot stand you.
Yep.
Because there might be people
Yeah.
that cannot stand you right off the bat. So,
Juror 20's asleep. Like,
yeah.
Oh, really?
oh, yeah.
So I know in law enforcement, you go to like read technique and all these nonverbal cue teaching courses and statement analysis courses and stuff like that. Did you go to any, or are you just naturally intuitive at it?
No, I just observe all the time. I said that yesterday.
She notices things just in normal our everyday life. She'll notice things about people, and I'm like, I told her the other day, I'm like, you will know if someone has a hangnail, and you'll be like, that person had a hangnail, and I can't handle. I'm like, she's very observant, and so for jury selection, she's an asset to lots of attorneys in the office because she
And
You
I
go
know
sit with
Joe can tell if somebody has a hangnail. That's not a lie.
she can.
You watch them?
She'll
I
come
look
back.
at everything. I used to get in trouble for staring when I was little.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't know.
Did you find a juror looking at you sometimes going, "Why is that girl?"
Yeah, I mean, people are like, "What is she looking at?" Because
Look at you,
I
Bob.
can't. My oldest son is the exact same way.
Oh, really?
Yes, he stares at everybody.
Is he good at reading
But it's
people?
helpful in jury selection.
I was
Yeah,
going to
he
say, I
is.
bet
Reading
it
people,
is.
yeah, it's one of the main things you got to do, especially in the big trials. So yeah,
Because now I think people put stuff through algorithms, and they depend so much on technology and AIs.
that's right.
I do think that there's a place for the human algorithm is, I think, the key.
Well, and
most
in
of
big
this.
trials like Murdoch and Karen Reed, which was a big trial I followed, they have jury selection experts that get paid big money to come in and evaluate.
There's been movies
jurors.
made on that. Thank you very much. I
That
think Gene
happens.
Hackman was
yeah.
great.
I mean, they do deep dives. They know your history back to when you were 10 years old. We've not ever done that, to my knowledge.
Have
but-
there been any discussions? They may already do it, but do they allow like video analytics of potential jurors during the selection?
I don't think our judges would want to do that.
I'm just curious. Have you seen that or heard
Can you
about it
explain
anywhere?
that? What does that
No.
mean?
So
Jury
just
video?
basically videotaping the individual so you can catch the nuanced parts of their movements that the human eye may or may not, and you can compare them.
There's so
over
many
the course
rules
of
on juror identification. I don't think any of our judges will let us do that. I'm
just
not
curious.
sure. I've not seen
Just-
them. I don't speak for our
It may not
judges,
be a
but
thing, but I was just curious.
we would have major, we've had issues where News Channel 3 or whoever has accidentally caught the face of a juror, and it's like big deal. Like
Mhm.
immediately, call the court and say, hey, this is, get this down. What are we going to do? Because
Yep.
we just protect those people so much.
I think me and you talked about this on the previous Zoom to set this thing up when we were talking about what it's going to look like moving forward. But I thought it would be great for people to hear it from you. How frustrated do you get when you watch TV or movie courtroom scenes? Can you enjoy a movie that's centered around that, or is it difficult?
No, it's really difficult. I typically don't watch them. I do watch documentaries of actual trials.
That's
because
what
those are
that's where we're
real
going
things.
next.
I
Yeah.
watch real stuff too. I don't even watch reenactments.
Really?
No, I hate them.
I really don't like reenactments, to be honest.
I hate
I
all
either want it to
that.
be a drama to where it's like Star Wars and I know it's fake and I just got to buy in.
That's right. Or it's real.
documentary, it's
Or it
real.
really
But the reenactments, I can tell it's fake and I don't know what you're adding in there. I don't like that at all.
I don't watch any like shows though, like Law and Order or things like that. I don't
You're-
like those.
It's a lot to watch.
It's
But
weird.
I'll tell you the worst part is, and this goes back to jury selection, the worst part is the CSI shows, because jurors watch these CSI shows and they think this case should have been solved in 48 hours. And why did you not fingerprint that piece of paper? And why did you not do this? And why did you not do that? And it's stuff that you can't actually even do. But certainly it's not something we would do in any specific case.
Right.
And so you got to tell them in jury selection, like, do you understand that CSI is not real?
You say that?
Oh, absolutely.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
can you agree that we cannot take fingerprints off of some objects? Can you agree we might not have video footage that you want to see? That doesn't mean that didn't happen. Things like that. They want crime scene to really be, wonderful in every single case, and
It's glamorous on TV. There's no mistakes made. And if there are, it always works out for the person that they're rooting for.
That's
Well,
right.
it dates. I mean, even in law enforcement, it dates back to that expectation of every time someone's arrested, you have to read them their rights.
That's right.
I can't tell how many arguments I got to in my career when I book them in. You never read me my rights.
We don't want to do that.
I don't have to read you your
And
rights.
we don't want to advise officers.
But
just
it
all of a sudden
it was an
read
actual
their
argument more
That's right.
times than I can remember of.
Yeah.
The expectation was set
It-
by TV shows
I bet,
or whatever.
yeah. When you're arrested, you're supposed to read the rights.
Just
That's
what
the
immediately-
idea.
We
That's
had
TV
the folks from cops on, and that's the thing. You didn't read me my rights. If you watch a cops, everybody
Always.
you're detaining you. You didn't read me my rights.
And
So-
don't get me wrong, it's very important.
Yes.
We believe in the Fifth Amendment and Miranda, but that's not the law. The law is not you're arrested and you get your rights read. It's just not.
What is that? What is how do you differ between the two?
It's a custodial interrogation. So you don't have to read someone's Miranda rights until they're in custody and they're being questioned by law enforcement. So when you just arrest them, you're not asking them any questions. If you're not asking, in fact, sometimes you want them to sit in your patrol car and just run their mouth. You're not asking them questions. The government's not asking them any questions. And so, but if you're in an interview room, someone's been in handcuffs, you got to read them their Miranda rights. But it's very specific. Custodial interrogation is what's used by the court.
Huh. Well,
That's my answer too.
That's right.
Mine
That's
too.
right.
There you go.
Ditto. It's a consensus in the courtroom.
We're
It's been
good.
passed. We're all good. Is there any? So you said documentaries. Are there certain documentaries that you like? You're watching right now?
I was obsessed with the Karen Reed trial. Karen Reed is the woman in Massachusetts that was accused of backing over her boyfriend, who was a cop, and killing him in the snow. And it was fascinating. She got tried. It was a hung jury, so they tried it again. Both trials lasted months and months. But that's the last trial, because Murdaugh, I sort of followed a little bit, but Karen Reed was one where I was really fascinated by why the state was doing what they were doing. And how a jury could ever find her guilty, I don't know, and they didn't. But yes, every now and then, she loves the Idaho murder.
I'm obsessed.
I was
Oh,
just
really?
writing it down. That's what I wrote down.
I'm obsessed. We're missing something.
We. But he got convicted.
He pled guilty.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Didn't that whole thing start with not whole thing, but wasn't part of the way they found him through like a 23andMe?
Yes.
And I didn't know if that was legal at all.
It was so weird the way that they did that.
Yeah.
There was something about his dad's family something like that. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's
It
weird.
was 23andMe to his family members,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
directly to
And
him.
not his dad either. It was something that somebody else, I feel like, and
Megyn
it came
Kelly
back
did
to
a
his
podcast, a
dad.
couple podcasts on this because Megyn Kelly talks politics, but she's also an attorney and she does a bunch of crime podcasts.
Yeah, the,
So
the
she had
whole
a
way
couple.
that went down, just the homicides themselves, I think will always be weird to lots of people. If you watch the YouTube videos and understand the evidence, that will always be a strange case.
The other one, I started going down the rabbit hole the other day, and it's just once I already know the outcome of something, it's a little difficult for me to get re-engaged with
Yeah.
it. But is the brothers in California that killed their parents years and years
The
ago?
Menendez
Menendez
brothers.
brothers.
Because it was up in the air, they were going to get turned loose or a new trial, or the sentence is going to be commuted or whatever. And I was like, what new evidence has come out? So I started trying to get re-engaged with that one because that was all over Netflix for a while.
Yeah, it was. People
Podcasting.
loved that one. I didn't love
didn't.
that one. I mean, they shot and killed their parents, undeniably. You want to come up with this whole, our dad was molesting us when we were little. Their parents were probably mean and maybe did something. You can't shoot your parents.
That's a good tip. Hold on, write that
You
down.
can't do that.
Don't-
So I don't have
That's
much sympathy for
title
those
of the
guys.
Good legal advice.
But
from
lots of
Coty.
people felt sorry for them because it does. I mean, if your dad is molesting you lots of your life, hey, I get it. Vigilante
that was true.
justice
If
is
it was
like
true.
sometimes jurors like vigilante justice. So
Maybe that's why they were trying to get in it. And it's a different world now. I hate to say this too. The world of accountability is different than it was 20, 30 years ago when stuff was happening. I think society's changed. So that's the other part of your jury pool. Now it's made up. We've had a society that has been so pulled apart with it's not my fault, it's their fault. Have you seen a change in jury pools since you've been doing this last 10 years as far as their openness to letting people kind of skate?
yeah, I mean, again, like the CSI hurts us because we have to prove, now we're above beyond a reasonable doubt because they expect so much from us. But with drug cases, people have different ideas of cases like that are hard because people have strong opinions. Politics is so divisive. I think it spills over into criminal justice often. Criminal justice has been so politicized in the last 6-7 years that lots of people just don't even trust the judicial system anymore because of what we've seen nationally. And so we have to vet those people. Do you even believe in the justice system? Do you think it's fair?
Yeah.
So absolutely. It all has affected what we do.
Yeah, I get very frustrated when I read cases from other states. This is not a political podcast, but we can't. The world we live in nowadays, some things tie together. So this is a great place for awkward silence. But it is weird for me to watch other states, other communities handle things where they're so lenient that you see crimes committed by people that just got out for committing other crimes. And once you start diving into the case now, y'all might not like him, but Matt Walsh does a little bit on this around the country. And it's really odd to watch how and why people are released from other jurisdictions. And I'm like, the other option would have been to hold that person.
Yeah, that's what the
very
public's
frustrating.
never going to understand. In Tennessee, you are entitled to bail. You have the constitutional right to bail unless you are charged with a capital offense. And even then, 95% of our defendants still have a bail. And so, it's hard sometimes to keep people in custody. If they make their bail, that's their constitutional right.
Yeah.
People are like, how were they out of custody? Well, and it's always going to happen.
Back to that system, right? The system in the process.
And then people think our laws are stricter than they are. Our legislature does a good job. But, on Facebook, you'll see somebody who committed an offense that carries 8 to 12 years, and they're like, they should be hung, how dare them not get life? And it's like, you got the max we can go is 12 years here. I get blamed, and that's fine. That's what I signed up for. But nobody's, you're not going to argue with them because it's like, maybe that person should have been hung.
Do you engage with social media stuff? Let's move. Oh, you want to think about it first?
No,
okay.
I do.
Because I know David does too.
No, he doesn't.
David is really engaged on social media.
You're above that.
I deleted everything off phones. I don't touch anything
After I
anymore.
won my election, I deleted my personal Facebook page the day of. I hated it so much. I still can't stand social media. But yeah, I think that there is a time and a place for the elected official to step in and say that is just patently false what you're saying. And what I did it this week. If you want to say stuff or you want to talk about a specific case and you are directly connected to that case, come talk to me. There is not a family I will not meet with if there is an ongoing criminal justice case that they are connected to. Come see me. So I respond. Yeah, I'll respond. And if you're going to call me bad names on Facebook, come on in and say it to my face because that's the kind of person I am. I don't take offense to it, but don't sit behind your computer don't sit behind your computer, because I'm an open book. My office has multiple doors you can come in.
They open and close. Go both ways.
They
Yeah,
open and
yeah.
close. That's right. My there's always someone that answers the phone. So I do. And most of the time they're not real people saying all this.
Right.
So you say, hey, I'll see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow. And they don't show up. They delete their Facebook and you never
But
hear
have
from
you
them.
also found that when they do come, anybody that actually may take you up on your offer, have you found that, because I have found this on the political side I do with Eric and some other folks, and even with Jeff Stiles, once they're in front of you, their attitude may be the same, but how they present it is a little less.
Every single time.
Yeah.
And they find out that I'm reasonable.
Yeah, yeah.
And they find out that I want to help them and I'm here for you.
Mhm.
And we're transparent. We're going to tell you the truth. So they find out I'm actually helpful. I'm interested in hearing what they have to say. And so the whole tone changes, and then they're not calling me bad names on Facebook anymore, because I'm not against you. Right. I
Yeah.
told somebody this morning. I'm with you. I'm not against you. Okay. But yeah, I think there's a time and place to engage.
Do you watch them too? Do you watch social media too?
I do not like social media.
But do you watch it when it comes to me? What people
Oh
say?
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's
Are
one
you
reason I don't
scroll?
like
Do you kind of keep up with stuff too?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Do
She's
you ever
protective
respond?
over my brother too.
Yes, I am. Yes, I do respond sometimes. Yeah,
she'll
I love
see-
them both.
Yeah.
She'll see things and she'll.
It's just because people say this stuff and it's not right. Like, if you're going to talk bad, at least talk bad about something that's true.
Have facts.
Yes.
And
don't
all the facts.
you
not
don't know
60%
them
of something.
personally, so don't say that.
Yeah.
Just don't say that.
Well, I hate to say this, but that's one of the reasons that I'm still self-aggrandizing or promoting here. But that's one of the reasons I like podcasts, because I've had a number of podcasts with people who I've had, me and Jeff Stiles get into it constantly. Me and Eric Buchanan get into it every now and then. I give gentle pushback with Tim Kelly when he comes in on different stuff.
Yeah.
And again, I found that it's easier to get the back and forth if you're presenting your argument based off first understanding where they're come from,
Mhm.
that Socratic method of, I understand where you're at, here's what I believe.
Mhm.
And it's easier to do in this. This right here, it's way easier for me to,
Absolutely.
you're an asshole. It's easy to call me an asshole when there's a screen in 3 counties
Absolutely.
behind me. But
Mhm.
when I'm sitting here, there's a consequence for
That's
that.
right.
Yep.
And we might be able to compromise. We
Right.
might be able, we see each other. Like there's so much more, what's the word? There's less division when you're sitting in person and you can see each other and understand there is some reasonableness. We can disagree.
100%.
And I love the pushback, Clinton. If we keep coming on here and having these conversations, I love pushback. I don't do everything right. My office certainly doesn't do everything right. It's the best office in Tennessee in
Yeah.
terms of DA's offices.
Yeah.
I believe that. But, some people say, hey, that shouldn't have happened that way. I'm like, justice system, we do our best. But
I think sometimes people take questions and not understanding as pushback too. Sometimes we're thin skinned on this side.
mhm.
If you ask, and me and Roddy have talked about discipline and leadership and accountability.
Mhm.
If I've been in my comfort zone so long, and all of a sudden Roddy comes along as a guy who's like, he says, all right, I need to tell Clint some hard truths. I like Clint enough to tell him this. I know you don't. I'm just saying hypothetically, if you were to say something to me like, hey man, this I'm not sure. Explain to me why you're doing this. If I'm not used to that, it's going to come across as critique.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, I may consider you're being, critical of me instead of just curious.
That's right.
And sometimes in this world, I think we ask questions and it can be taken as you don't like me. No, I'm just asking a question.
Well, there's the personal ownership. You and I've talked about that before in the mindset where you flip it of, if anybody comes back with questions about something I've done, an email we did, or I'll say it's a press release that goes out or anything else, if I've left gaps in the story that I'm trying to tell and it results in the questions, then is it this unnecessary, unvalidated critique, or is it my fault, my responsibility, because I didn't do as good a job as I should have done with the information that I put forth? So once you can, for me personally, once I can flip my brain around
Yeah.
on that, and we talked about this in leadership, this is corporate, this is parenting, this is everything else, is when you send the thing up and top level sends it back down with all the questions, some people's mindset is well, that's just micromanagement. They're just not letting us do our jobs. If they let us do what we're supposed to do, quit asking all these little minutia, minor detail questions, then I can get the things done. Or is it my fault if I'm the guy that came up, I'll use law enforcement, if I came up with the operations, the mission complex, and I didn't answer those questions, then it's the boss's job to ask me those things.
Mhm.
So why do I resent them doing that? That's
Yeah.
on me, not them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we have a hard time owning that.
Yeah, I like that.
Do you have that in your
I'm not
office? Is that part of?
surprised.
Do you like people holding each other accountable in
Oh,
your office?
absolutely. And to your point, my executive assistant DA is my number 2, and he often will say, "Hey, listen, respectfully," which a lot of times people, when you say respectfully, normally that's because what's about to come out of your mouth's not. But he will respectfully push back because he wants to protect me and he wants to protect our office. And so he will say, and sometimes, I'm like, yeah, you're right. And that's why it's important that you have people that will give you that kind of feedback. And sometimes I don't take the advice and I move forward, but you have to have somebody there that's going to say, hang on here. And I try to I don't micromanage, but I'm very hands-on. I believe that there needs to be some type of priorities from a leader in the office.
Absolutely. If it's not, it's the emperor's new clothes. If no one's willing to tell you that you're walking around with nothing on, then you're that story of the emperor's new clothes. So you have to have those voices. I think I'm looking at one across the table from me right now.
Oh.
That does tug on someone's sleeve
That's why
and
we're
go,
such
"Hey,
good friends."
Yeah, we
We do it to each other. I mean, if I want to know the honest truth, she's going to tell me. I don't want to know what's going to make me feel good.
and I can't.
I got a mirror that'll do that."
That's right.
It tells me exactly what I want to hear.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, so I want people around me that will say, "Hey, now hold on before you make that decision." I've also learned over the years, before you make a big decision, you wait 24 hours.
Mhm.
So if you are emotional about something or you are upset, which I sometimes will, get mad, wait 24 hours. Every single time I have made a quick decision, I've regretted it. If I wait 24 hours, I will often not make that decision, and I'm very, very glad I waited. So and this would be my advice to a 23-year-old or me as a 23-year-old. Wait 24 hours before you make any big decision if you have any emotion attached to it whatsoever.
And even if you end up making the same decision, you can justify it.
That's
You're
right.
more confident in the decision,
That's
and you
absolutely
actually
right.
feel a little bit better. Right?
Absolutely.
What do you like most about what you do, either one of you? And what's the one thing that's the biggest challenge that you go, if I could get rid of that one thing, this whole thing would be way better?
Criminals.
Oh, gosh.
Well,
no
Damn
kidding.
it, Roddy.
So
Well played.
there is nothing better than being the voice of a victim in a violent crime or a crime with a victim. There's nothing better than standing up for that person in court. There's nothing better than hearing a jury say guilty when a family is waiting for that jury to come back with an answer and their loved one's been killed, or child sex abuse cases that we are nailing these people lately. I don't know if there's a better feeling to see a jury come back and hold this person accountable for the horrible things they've done after my office has worked our butt off. And we've swung for the fence when people say we can't do it, and we do it. That's why we do what we do. Or else you wouldn't. It's not worth it otherwise. But that is why I do what I do.
The challenge, anything that gets in your way? That you
Mental
feel like,
health. Judge Dunn and I were recently on a panel, and she said mental health is one of the hardest parts. Mental health consumers, I agree with that. Mental health consumers are the part of the system that really nobody knows what to do with.
they're in the in-betweens, right? Kinda.
Yeah, well, you want to
mean-
protect them if they're mental health consumers. The state doesn't do a good enough job in giving us these mental health alternatives for people that commit crimes, but it's legitimately because of their mental health issues. Now, it's not always when they say it is, but there is no real place for mental health consumers in our system. We don't know what to do with them. Our mental health facilities are often acute facilities. They're only there for 2 or 3 days. They've committed a violent crime, but they're not competent. What do we do with them? And the legislature's tried to figure it out, but it's very difficult.
Well, and when I was talking about the in-between, they're in the legal system, but so you're torn, I would imagine, between doing what's best for the public.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there now that shouldn't
That's
be.
my main
That's it.
concern,
And then
public safety.
and how do I get them,
Yeah.
if it is a truly a mental thing, and they would benefit from help and be a different person, maybe integrate into society better, how do I get them the help when all I have are these tools at my resources?
And they don't want help. And it's a
That's-
revolving door for mental health consumers more than it is anybody.
And you saw that from your point of view too. What you guys were doing on the girls on the street every day were running in. They're going to be a
Especially
lot of the
the
same
city,
clients.
especially the city.
And we've shared this before. Probably the largest counterintuitive point in all of that for law enforcement is we have an 8-hour, 10-hour, 12-hour shift. And the mindset is get everything that's your responsibility done. Reports, arrests, whatever it is. By the time I go home, I'm trying to have as much percentage of that carried to completion. If you have a mental health call, you'll never achieve that. because that person will never reach the end of their care trajectory, and you won't reach the end of that call generally because of how long the thing stretches out because of whomever comes into it, mental health services or whatever that looks like. So the minute you start that call, in the back of your head,
I got to pass this
I'm not
along.
closing the book on
That's
this one.
right.
And that's extremely frustrating for a law enforcement officer because of how the profession is set up, how the culture is set up.
Yeah. And it's directly entwined with homelessness, which is often
Absolutely. Yes.
Often they go together, and those are our repeat petty offenders. And it's a revolving door. Law enforcement doesn't know how to help them. We don't know how to help them. The system doesn't know how to help them. We just do our best.
I think we're smart enough. What frustrates me is we're smart enough to do so many things. There's got to be some answers out there. The problem with it is you go back to the division we have as a country right now, almost any idea that comes up is torn apart so fast before there's actually conversations that go, now let's wait a minute. Let's see if there's meat on this bone and maybe some meat. And then we're putting together a meal instead of go, nope, I don't like that. Why? Well, because Brody came up with it, or Tasha came, or Clint came, somebody else came up with it, and I don't like who they are, so I'm going to poo-poo the idea. The idea's out there. I just don't know if we can do it.
You don't have a flat trend line. So, whether it's actual clinical diagnosis of mental health or just the proliferation and maybe it is more prevalent, whatever side of that coin you choose to believe in, the trend line of individuals that either express or are diagnosed trends upwards and continues to. So you're chasing an ever increasing problem to try to find a solution on something that is exponentially increasing from where it was from the beginning. It's not like it's flat.
Yeah.
It's not.
So you can't, you're trying to chase something that's moving faster than you are able to move. And that's where we end up now with what feels like a worsening condition for whatever reason. And we can't design a solution fast enough to get it.
And then I think people have to assign certain parts of their whole government processes just for that, whether it's a court system, the police department. You almost need your own, just your own departments for like, hey, we're going to deal with how when people are deemed that they do have a mental problem or issue or challenge, when they get into the legal system, the whole thing has got its own separate little corridor.
Yeah,
you do, but you end up with these cofactors that moves them into other lanes. So it's rare from a law enforcement perspective that you get out with just a mental health consumer. You get out with a mental health consumer that's also homeless, to your point.
That's right.
Or also has substance abuse issues or
something else. Yeah.
All these other things pile on, and you have different methodologies in care and continuum of care that attaches. So now you have three, I don't want to say competing, but they can be competing of who's going to be.
What are we going to do?
Exactly.
We're arresting somebody for domestic violence.
That's my thing. Now there's also a
This
victim.
person's got a mental health issue. Yeah.
So
there's a victim
who helps
involved.
There's a victim involved, and
the community's involved.
What do we do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, maybe we could use. I think we'll figure it out here in the next 4 or 5 minutes.
I think so too.
We're really on a.
If
on
we
a
have
roll.
5 minutes left, I'd like to just figure out.
I'm going to need a dry erase board.
Are you?
I'm just I got to have a dry erase board.
I feel like I'm at a tennis match.
We're getting really excited. Before I jump into my last question, because I want to keep you on an hour, and we spent a few minutes of our time kind of getting to see each other before we started recording. I didn't give you a chance to answer the question. Is there a challenge inside the office that you would like to fix or something good? Because I want to make sure I'm fair to you getting.
That's okay. The challenge that I have is taking it home with me. That's what I'd like to get rid of. It's hard.
Literally with work and emotionally.
Both.
Yeah, both. Yeah, taking
Both.
work home with you and
emotionally.
and actually, yeah.
How do you handle it now? Is there a process? I've asked Roddy this before. And as an adult, if you have any kind of job of substance, it's challenged to take stuff home with you. And what y'all do, the other folks at this table, it's got a different component of what it means to take it home with you. How do you normally process that? Or is it a challenge?
Not well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. I mean,
I need to start recording this as an
my
intervention.
poor kids were never allowed to do anything.
Yeah. Oh.
You do feel differently about kids.
It feels so much different when you see this stuff every day because we see what really happens.
That's your world, and so you don't. It's hard to peek outside.
Every conversation in the DA's office is negative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. You do feel different when you have kids about kids. I mean, you had girls, so
oh wow.
These people that are letting their young girls go to different people's houses to stay the night. I'm like, I'm not like, oh, hope y'all have fun. I'm like, don't let them go over there. It doesn't matter. It's just this whole
hypervigilance.
I told my boys, you have everything you need right here.
Learned.
Like we don't need to spend the night with
He
them.
and I have actually done a couple of podcasts because I've got 3 kids. My youngest is a 21-year-old doll. She'll be 22 next month. And so we've had conversations about security when you go back to college, things to do, women. Me and Jennifer talk about this all the time. There's things. It's really odd. And as I've got to, as my daughter's grown, watching the world through a guy's eyes is one thing. But when women in your life start saying, hey, tapping you on the shoulder going, I know you see it that way. but there's this other thing over here.
Totally.
And that made my life, because I'd have a sister and I have a mom,
Mm-hmm.
which I love with all my heart. And there's a daughter connection, though, that as soon as I started realizing that, when she became a teenager and wanted to sprout wings and fly, I was like, oh no, I'll be on the other side of Coty real quick.
Oh, I'm surprised we don't see it more often. I'm surprised we don't see vigilante justice more often.
Me
you
too.
know, we always talk about, I know we're running out of time, but we always talk about these family members that sit in the audience about 4 feet away from the defendants in open court. I'm always surprised that we don't have more issues with somebody jumping over that little small railing and
Me
just
too.
trying to
I've
wail.
never seen it happen.
Now, I don't know if I've ever seen it happen. And imagine it being your child. And I mean, good for them, because the court says you can't do that, and the court tells them you better stay calm. But I don't see my dad staying calm. I don't know. Maybe
I've had moments of not been in a courtroom that people have. We're going to call somebody on you in a minute. Well, I'll put them down when they stop running their mouth.
I can't. I don't know why it doesn't happen more. I mean, I'm not.
We're not
No,
advocating.
Not condoning it, but
No, but it's a human nature thing.
That's right.
Every time I watch it, I tell you, there's one guy that he's a serial killer, and then I know you were going to say something, Dave, but I can't remember it. He's a pretty notorious serial killer, and he had no emotions during the whole trial. And it could have been edited for compassion's sake, which if it did, they did a great job. All the other parents, because I think he killed 5 or 6 girls, maybe even 7 girls, they were getting up saying he's going to go to hell. I hope you get I hope your death is painful. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yep. And then all of a sudden this old man with a beard gets up, and I think he had killed his daughter. And he said, society tells me I'm supposed to hate you. My God tells me I'm supposed to forgive you. Mm. I'm going to choose my God. Mm. Wow. And I just need to let you know that and he started crying. The guy that did that's the thing, the defendant started crying. He goes, I need you to know that it's not, he goes, you have challenged in my beliefs and how good of a man I thought I was going to be. He goes, but I need to let you know that I am not going to hate you. I'm choosing not to hate you, and I'm choosing to forgive you. And they show that guy, his lip starts quivering and he starts crying. And I went, in my head, I'm so sadistic on that. I'm like, oh, if I thought that would make you cry, I'll say it. Whatever causes you pain and grief. If I've got to forgive you.
Yeah, because I would not be. I would not be the person.
I hope you get out of prison real soon.
That's exactly. I hope they don't convict you at all.
I actually today would be good.
Or if I do get convicted, I might go get convicted of something to get thrown in. We'll see how that works.
Yeah. Well, you got a conservative district attorney in this county right now. And so vigilante justice, I'm glad it doesn't happen a lot, but also I'm surprised it doesn't because, self-defense cases, we see a lot of them. And when you have a conservative district attorney,
it's tough.
Their self-defense is a real thing.
Mm-hmm. It is. And you got to be clear. And when people hear this, because I hear this all the time on experts, on the podcast out there in the podcast world, it's bad as TV shows. The stand your ground law, all these things. I keep hearing people, and me and Roddy have had some really good conversations about this. And I think you have to really be pushed into a corner to understand what real danger feels like. Mm-hmm. And some people, if you've never been exposed to it, anything feels dangerous. Mm-hmm. That's why I think it's good for your daughters to be raised by somebody like you, my daughter to be raised, your kids, they're going to know. My daughter's got a great gut. I've used this example. She just graduated from college, and she goes to the gas station with some of her girlfriends, and she goes, and it frustrates me no end, Dad. She goes, I get out of the car and my head is on a swivel. Mm-hmm. She goes, if we're coming back from a town, she goes, and I'll tell the girls, pay attention. There's 2 guys over here. She goes, I already know where all the guys are. I'm watching where they're walking. If they're splitting up, she goes, and one night she actually called and she goes, these 2 guys, when they saw us, one started walking one way, one started walking the other. And I told all the girls in the car, everybody start paying attention and stare at these guys. Mm-hmm. You look them dead in the eye and get the gas. And I'm like,
smart.
I was so proud of her.
I've been told I had DA's office thinking, and I was like, absolutely I do. Because that's what really happens. Mm-hmm. That's why I think like that. I see it.
Yeah. Well, gets you in a bad place sometimes, but
sometimes
all together, the world is a good place, and all in all, our county's safe and our community's safe, and I try to share that message. I don't want to fear monger.
You say it all the time. There aren't monsters around every corner. There's just a monster around every once in a while.
That's right.
And you just got to be aware.
I tell my boys, mind your business. Yeah. Just mind your business. It's not anybody else. What they're doing, it doesn't concern us,
Yeah.
She could say a lot about that. I mean, we talk about girls. You know, we have to talk to girls about certain things and be nervous about certain things. Well, for young men, there's also issues. You know, you got to protect them for different reasons as well. And I have a small son. She's got 2 older sons, and so there's also some protection of boys that you have to make sure you go through with them. You know what you can and cannot do.
The world's
and
different than it was 30, 40 years ago.
There's a lot of advice to be given to all parents if I could do it.
Yeah, that's maybe part of what we do. That's good parents. The fun last question I want to have. Do you have a favorite conspiracy theory?
We did not go to the moon.
No, we did not. And we didn't go around it.
We have the picture of the flag on the moon. There ain't no way we went to the moon.
This is so fun to me.
Buzz Aldrin said he didn't go to the moon.
I heard, yeah.
We did not go. Whatever. I don't care that we said we did. You know, we were in a race to get there, so you know we fibbed about it and made up some big scene. But
do you spend your time on any
offended.
Netflix stuff or listening to podcasts on conspiracy? Because I do. I don't think he does at all. Do you have a conspiracy theory you believe in?
No.
Oh, you gotta
really
have something.
Oh, we talk about them all the
Yeah, we
time.
do.
We have a bunch.
Well, you gotta have something, Roddy.
I don't pay attention. I mean, honestly, I don't pay attention. I mean, if you sat and asked me a question like the moon, I did say the other day when all of this hoopla started around the last thing where we spent $1 gazillion to shoot a rocket to circle it and come back, and it's 50 years after we landed on it.
Yeah.
That's hard to wrap.
That's a good point.
I mean, my phone contains a higher processor than any computer that existed the year we landed on the moon. So it's taken us 50 years to circle the thing.
That's one of the best arguments.
And it's too expensive now.
That's what I'm saying. So, but
we didn't do it.
I don't follow them, but if you ask me my opinion on some of them, I'll give you my opinion on them.
Anyone, you got a favorite one?
There's no such thing as Bigfoot.
Oh, really?
No.
No such
There's
thing
no such thing as what?
Bigfoot.
Doesn't exist.
Huh.
I think it's a conspiracy to think that there is a Bigfoot.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Like that's the conspiracy.
I agree.
Bigfoot.
There's no such thing as Bigfoot.
What about UFOs?
Well, they're just releasing files on that.
There's UFOs.
So I think that's human technology, a lot of it that we're testing, because I think whatever we see from our government, he and I've talked about this with the Venezuela stuff. Whatever we're seeing when they were doing the lasers, if we're seeing that, they're 20 and 30 years ahead of whatever we have. They are not showing us what they really have as the military. No. So I think a lot of that, those UAPs are human. And then I will throw something in. I think a lot of that, I'm a spiritual guy. I believe some of it's spiritual. And I believe some of it can be UFOs. I think it's a big hodgepodge.
Yeah, who knows? We're never going to know.
No, but it's
we
fun
can
to
get
think
into
about.
all types of things like this.
Oh, we talk about this all the time.
Oh, do you?
All the time.
Or why, like to your point, why certain technology doesn't exist when we know all the capabilities we have. Like I'm mad that I can't fly with a jetpack to get to work.
You can't. Oh, you can't do it to work, but they've got jetpack races now.
Well, see, but why do we
planes.
not all have? Why don't I have a car? Like, just put a jetpack on me and let me get to work within 5 minutes. I don't understand that. My husband says it's because it's too expensive and it competes with the car business and it's not safe or whatever. But like in 2026, I want a jetpack places. I want a jetpack tonight to the beach.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
I don't think it's unrealistic.
It's 2026. It should have already happened. There's a reason why it hasn't.
Because it's benefiting certain people. The technology's out there. They have jetpack races. They also have little miniature planes that those individual
That's
ones.
another thing.
Those are very cool.
I guess that's sort of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like whether it's a miniature plane or wings or whatever. Make me a bird. I don't care. Just let me fly.
I will say as a former law enforcement officer, the thought of 1,000 people in jetpacks buzzing over Chattanooga at 500 feet, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not going outside today. I'm not going anywhere near whatever, because they're going to fall out of the sky.
Slam into
Jimmy's going to hit Marty head on over Broad Street, and I've got him landing on top of me in my truck.
That would be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, you give tickets on that. The drones right now are already ticking me off. I told you this story. I had one fly over my house, and it was set there with my nephew was over about 2 years ago, and just hovered right over my deck.
Not a good feeling.
Oh, so I went out in front, and I'll go up on my porch, and I'm looking, and I see 2 dudes that's down the house down the thing, and I know it's got a camera on it. So I just start walking up there. He goes, "What's up, man?" I said, "Hey, is that your drone?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, I'm going to shoot that damn thing out of the air
a piece of clay.
in a
That's
minute.
right.
I said, "Don't ever do that again." So it's got a camera. He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "You're a grown man."
What's he doing?
I don't know. I said, "But you can put that over every house in the neighborhood." I said, "The next time I see it, I'm just going to knock on your door." He goes, and then we sit there and had talked about Alabama football. It was a great conversation, and he understood it. You know,
My husband would just shoot it down. He'd ask questions like,
I'm in Eastridge. I would have. Guess shut
He
up.
just shoot it down.
I
Start
had,
talking about your shower habits or whatever else he's videotaped in the last week before you saw the drone.
there was, I saw the little red lights outside the
It wasn't
window.
the
of my
first time
shower.
he was in your yard, man. It wasn't the first time. You want to talk about conspiracy theories?
He's like, hey, I think that's a mole on your back.
Yeah, you
need
might
to
wanna get that checked.
out a little bit. How in the hell are you sitting there? All right, so listen, if y'all are okay with it, maybe before you leave or sometime in the next week or so, we get some more dates set up.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have a
We're gonna
little
come back.
organization around it. We'll talk
Yeah.
about some stuff that's specific. Use this podcast to educate the community.
Yeah,
And
we can
sometimes
do
if
that.
it's just 20 minutes, full hour, whatever you want to
There's
do.
laws that people need to better understand that we
Agreed.
can talk about at different times. Did you get questions on here when we go live?
I can, but
You can.
yeah.
Okay,
Usually,
okay.
what happens is it happens with me in Styles. It takes the first couple of times, and once we have a date scheduled, I'll make an event out of it on social,
Okay.
and then it'll be out there a week or so.
Yeah.
Then people can tune in, and if they got questions, or a lot of times, like when I do it with Ed Jones from Nutrition World, they'll email me the question because they'll watch the video later and we'll ask it. Because sometimes people are at work and can't get off.
That's great. Yeah, we'll answer questions. I
Okay,
love
so
that.
we'll just get some dates going and,
Sure.
and we'll rock and roll.
We'll be back.
I love
We
it.
will be
All
back.
right.
Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
y'all.
Bye, Roddy.
Bye.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
We're out.
We're out.
So I didn't ask you, but if you guys